Hi. So, as you guys know, I'm Limitless Lils. I do book reviews. So, I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into it. How I break things up on my book reviews is I run through how many pages the books are, my top 3 takeaways from the book, if I would reread, because what I like is not the same to what you like. So, if I would reread it, and my overall rating out of 5. So, jumping right into this book, today I am reviewing Homebody by Rupi Kaur. This book was given to me as a gift. I myself would never personally buy a book like this just because I'm not very big into poetry. I will be keeping the book because it has a really beautiful message from one of my close friends. So jumping in, it's 188 pages and it's broken up into 4 parts. So it is broken up into mind, heart, rest, and awake. I know a lot of people that love this author, and this book had pretty great reviews online. It had a 4.8 star out of 5. I'm gonna be 100% honest here. I did not like this book. I don't have any takeaways because it's poetry. She has one poem in here that I liked, just talking about the way the women in her life make her feel. Other than that, I'm gonna be honest, this book was, I don't know if it was too vulnerable for me or too raw or idolizing being a victim. And if I'm just being completely real, I don't like books or people that like to idolize being a victim, because even if you have been through a traumatic event, yes, I understand, like, there are going to be, triggers and traumas and things that come from whatever situation you've been in. However, I think to constantly talk about it out loud and, like, why did this happen to me? Like, yeah, I get it. Like, why did it happen to you? That's a fair question. However, there are some things that Rupi Kaur said in this book that I really just did not care for, and it's honestly, like, I would not read this book again. If my friend didn't give it to me, I probably would have gotten rid of it, just because I really did not like this book. My overall rating out of 5 is going to be a 1. Don't care for this book, would not reread. I have no takeaways. The only poem in here that's kind of worth it is the one that mentions how the women in her life make her feel. I actually felt more stressed out after reading this book than I did, like, calm from after it. Typically when I read books, because I read a lot of self-help and motivational and philosophy, I am feeling recharged and refreshed after reading their books or whatever book. I did not feel that way with this book at all. I felt really stressed out after reading it. I felt like it was me reading somebody's journal of them talking about some of the worst things that they've ever been through in their life with little to no words. So it was an easy read. I read this entire book in like an hour, no joke, like an hour, because again, it's poetry. But overall, not a good book for me. If you feel like you have, something traumatic that you haven't processed, I highly recommend therapy, and reading Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill, and just reconnecting with your faith, or whatever higher power or whatever makes you feel spiritual, to help yourself get over it. I understand that some things in life are going to be harder to process, and I have not been in a lot of your shoes to understand. I have been through traumatic events myself. However, I do not like to sit and bask in them, because all I'm doing is staying in a low vibration and negative energy. And by doing that, I am attracting more of it. Therefore, I find it to be like, when I go through something that's kind of traumatic, I want to address it very quickly. I can't stop thinking about when I'm going to get over it and when it's no longer going to hold that reserve in my brain or my heart. But yeah, this book is not for me personally. It might be for you. So, you know, if you're a fan of her previous work or read anything else by her, you know, it's worth checking out. For those of you that feel kind of similar to how I feel about, you know, living in that low energy, constantly reliving trauma, anything of what I had previously just mentioned, you know, this might not be the best book for you. But yeah, so that is my thoughts on Homebody by Rupi Kaur, and I'll see you guys later.